Good evening,
Hello.
and welcome back.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
We've dusted off the mics.
Quite literally.
Yeah, mine was caked in all kinds of grime and grease. Don't know what I was doing with it before this.
Yeah, we're back to talk about why we took a break. Why did we take a break, Guy?
We made a bloody film together.
Yeah.
We did.
That's a pretty good reason to take a break, I think.
I think so, yeah. When we did a Q&A thing for our 50th episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest questions, the more often than any other question we got, was, when are you guys going to make something together?
Oh, yeah, we did get that question a lot.
And we ignored them all because we were secretly making something together the whole time.
Did we literally toss out those questions?
Yeah,
or did
we completely ignored them all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to all those people that asked that question.
I mean, it's a great question, but we didn't want to give anything away. We hadn't filmed anything by that point. We were still very much in pre-production.
And I think this was a film that we obviously wanted to make it, but for a while we were like, will we make it or won't we? We're not sure. And then once we started it, it went very quickly.
Yeah.
Like the actual production part of it.
Yeah, it kind of snowballed, didn't it?
Yeah. So maybe we should mention up top the name of the movie.
Yeah, do you remember it?
Not gonna lie, it's a hard title to remember because we kind of, what do you say, like backwards translated the title from a Japanese title, and the Japanese title is
hang on, now you put me on the spot. Mikaiketsu Love for Satsujin Jiken.
the reverse translation is The Unsolved Love Hotel Murder Case Incident.
That's got a ring to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it makes me have a little giggle every time I read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, inspired by all of those kind of, what's the concrete?
The concrete in case high school murder case incident, high school girl murder case incident, something like that, yeah.
One of those long, exploitative titles is what we were going for.
Just has all those buzzwords lined up in one long old sentence.
Yeah. Do you remember when did we first start to talk about making this film?
We started, we played around with the idea of making a film in this vein after recording that Hypervillain episode. I don't remember what episode that was, but you brought Hypervillain by Koji Shiraishi onto the pod, and we kind of just mentioned, it would be so fun to make something in this vein, but didn't really think anything of it until after we're like, you know what? We should make something in this vein. Yeah. Like, actually. But I can't remember when that was.
I do remember that late last year, maybe November, maybe around a year ago from today.
Shit. Okay, so it has been a year though then.
Yeah, but that was when we sat down and we were like, all right, if we're going to make something, what would it be?
Yeah.
And I think we'd already mentioned, like, if it's us playing ourselves, we already had that locked in. Yeah. And we'd mentioned, like, we should be exploring some kind of abandoned place. Yeah. When we met up to discuss it, that was it around November, I think. And we literally, like, sort of hashed out the overview of the film in a very short period of time.
Don't want to cheapen it. But we pretty much wrote the whole film within a very short evening.
Yeah. And write is a strong word, isn't it?
Not a lot of scripted dialogue in this. We kind of like wrote an overview, as you said. Yeah. There's no real script. We kind of just improvised all of what we said. Yeah. Within that predetermined plot that we had kind of figured out.
And I think it was the right approach as well. We kind of always wanted to approach it that way, I think. Like having kind of a scene where it's like, all right, this has to happen, and this has to happen. But how it actually happens, we don't know until we film it, basically, right? Like the in-between stuff. Yeah.
I think with that, should we read the synopsis?
Sure.
So for people who haven't been following our social media, the scenario to this film is: starting out as nothing but a drunken whim, filmmakers Guy and Dave, along with their bartender friend Kuromi, set out to explore the site of a brutal and mysterious murder of a young woman in a love hotel, an incident that took place 20 years prior. The trio make their way into the middle of nowhere to the town, which is rife with rumors and ghosts and curses, and the now abandoned building. They document their night in the murder room, a night that becomes a terrifying ordeal.
Yeah.
So...
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
So yeah, it is a film in the... Yeah, it's somewhere between found footage and fake documentary, right? It's not meant to be like something you've just, found, like a tape that you found in that sort of sense. But it is like an edited fake documentary. But it doesn't have like talking heads or any of that sort of stuff that you see in some Shiraishi films.
Like Not Oil something.
Yeah. So it's not quite at that level, yeah.
But it is just like us with our friend Kuromi.
Yeah.
Just like having a day trip and and it's the most natural thing I've ever seen. It's just us just being us, joking and laughing along the way with nothing scripted until the real horror stuff kicks in. So I think people who do listen to this podcast and get a kick out of our like natural back and forth will get a kick out of the film.
That was something that was quite interesting because I'm not into acting very much. Like I've acted in things I've made, but it's usually been quite like heightened, stupid characters. And I am a stupid person, but like actually playing myself and keeping it within the realm of realism was pretty challenging, I thought. Even though we do have like a natural banter, we did have to do things, sometimes it just didn't feel right, so, and because in this film we do very long takes as well. So if you fuck something up, it meant going right back and doing it all over again.
Yeah.
So that was quite challenging, yeah.
That was. And trying to keep that level of like heightened intensity.
Especially when it's like literally 4 a.m. and you've been running around for nearly 24 hours straight.
The entire film is pretty much shot over the course of 2 days.
Yeah.
Filmed in sequence. And the main shoot, which pretty much takes up, 70% of the film, was all done in like a 24-hour shoot. Yeah. From morning to morning.
Yeah.
It was fucking horrible. And in an abandoned building of all places. With no fucking aircon because it's an abandoned building.
Piping hot.
Again, same as Sound of Summer, filming in places with no air conditioning.
Yeah.
Awful. That was a brutal shoot. Yeah, we met at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, we met at the station and immediately we were filming. Like from meeting at the station, we've already started filming at that point. Yeah, which I think was 8 in the morning. And then we wrapped the next day at, I believe it was 5:30.
Initially.
Yeah, in the morning the next day. The sun was up.
And then the sun was up.
And then we kept going.
We had an hour break.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
And then was like, right, let's meet back in 1 hour because we have to film more scenes for the following day.
So it was literally 24 hours straight by the time we'd finished.
Yeah,
and it really was nonstop. Like we didn't really have any breaks. There were a few points I've been on long shoots and they're really tough. Like I've definitely done harder shoots than this for sure. But this one, I've never had moments like this where I literally fell asleep in between takes. Like in a scene towards the end, like a really, really tough scene. And this doesn't sound that physically demanding, but I was carrying a torch and a camera and having to film like quite complex action. And that's not hard to do, but it is hard when it's like a 10-minute take and it's the, fourth time you've done it, and it's like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a certain point where like we had to reset to do the take again. And I think there's a photo of it as well where I'm just like against the wall and I'm dead asleep, just like face down. And then they're like, all right, let's get back into it. And then just straight back up again to do it.
Fall right back into the role. But you say like it doesn't sound that tiring. So yeah, to put it into perspective, we filmed in an abandoned love hotel. And if you don't know what love hotel is, watch the movie because we do explain that.
Little explanation in there for you.
By the lovely Kuromi. That had been abandoned for 20 years. So it was a complete shell of a building. And we filmed across the entire 4 stories of it throughout a multitude of rooms, all the floors.
Yeah.
And we were basically just going up and down stairs non-stop from the first floor to the third floor to the fourth floor to the second floor, and like up and down, left, right.
And running most of the time.
Running non-stop, and it's bloody exhausting, yeah. So then to do that with the camera and lights and lanterns and shit, and yeah. Oh yeah, the hands were very jelly-like by the end of it.
I remember the next day, or the day that we finished filming, I couldn't really move. My whole body was completely broken.
That's a full-on shoot, yeah.
But it was also, like, it was really tough, but I think it was quite a satisfying shoot as well. Even though it was tough, like, everything went the way I don't know about for you, but for me, it was definitely like, this is exactly what I was hoping for from these scenes. Yeah. And occasionally even more frightening than I hoped it would be as well.
Yeah.
I was genuinely scared shooting some of this
it was
stuff.
Fucking terrifying, yeah.
It was really scary. A pitch black abandoned hotel.
Yeah, and it's a grim old hotel, isn't it? Fucking hell, yeah. I totally agree with you. There were some scenes that we shot and we were acting, and we weren't even acting in the end. We were genuinely scared. It was a scary place to be in the middle of the fucking night. and so much like so one of our actors brought some a mamori in English, like a
wait, who did that?
Nakao.
Oh, really? Like, do you mean like what do you call that?
It's called a mamori.
Like
what is it?
It's kind of like a charm?
Yeah, like a protection charm thing. And he was like dousing himself with salt throughout the fucking shoot because he was like, this is how you get cursed and stuff. And apparently, and I was talking about it with my partner as well, and she was like, oh, when you do these kinds of things, like that's when like spirits come out kind of thing, and they latch onto you. Right. And I mentioned the film and the concept to a few Japanese people. They're like, oh, make sure you get cleansed by a priest before and after, and bring salt with you. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? We're making a film. We're not, exercising a demon. They're like, wow. But a load of people were saying like, no, but that's when they come out, when you enter that kind of like state, and almost like you're calling the other side. And I think they're very superstitious when it comes to this kind of thing. Just the whole ghosts concept thing on its own, regardless as if you're actually doing an Ouija board or whatever, or you're just acting out in something. Whenever there is I'm going to say whenever, but I think a lot of the times when people do make films of this nature, there is someone to bless them or protect them or do something from unwanted spirits.
I can't remember which one it is, but one of the Senritsu Kaiki Koasugi files is about that.
Oh, really?
I think it's one of those films. It's definitely a Shiraishi film, but there's one where it's production that went ahead, and I think they're shooting in a shrine. Yeah, and they didn't do the proper blessings, and the main actress gets cursed.
Oh, that's the Oiwa-san one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I'd already heard that sort of stuff just from watching that film.
Right.
So we committed the same sin that, that those guys did in that film, yeah.
You haven't been cursed or anything?
I mean, don't know. Not sure. Could be.
Could be. Who knows?
I do have a rash at the moment. Maybe that's part of the curse.
Shit, that's the ghost. Right. It's got, you're done for, mate. But it was funny. I was speaking to the actor, and he came in a car, and he's saying, driving out to the middle of nowhere, and in this like rent a car that he had, and his wife was also like, before you drive back, make sure you douse yourself in salt because you'll probably crash or something. So he did the whole salt thing before he got in his car, and then again before he entered his home. Superstitious bunch.
Well, speaking of the cast as well, that was one of my favorite things of making this film. I think we, outside of us, we assembled a really a really great cast. You mentioned Kuromi earlier, who's I think the star of the film, I would say.
Definitely.
And she, we always planned to have her in the film, but we were not planning for her to take the main role. And I'm so glad that a series of mishaps happened where she ended up in the lead, because she's great.
I cannot imagine how the film would have been without her in it now.
Yeah. And she's playing herself as well, and I think the reason it works so well is we are actually good friends, all three of us, so we have already got like a natural banter with her, so it's basically just the film is just a document of that, isn't it?
Just us having fun.
Yeah. And she's so good. Like, she just, every scene that we did, she nailed it every time, and then we'd be like, oh, how about this? And she just got it straight away. Like, any little bit of direction, she just did perfectly and just added so much to it. Can't imagine the film without her.
No. And if anyone doesn't know, so Kuromi was also in The Sound of Summer. She appears at the end as the girl who comes out of the earth in the finale. And when I filmed, and Dave, you were there as well, when we filmed Sound of Summer, that was the first time either of us had met Kuromi. It was a friend of mine who introduced her to me, and she was just like such a joy to have on that set as well.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, and it was a really weird kind of friendship that the way it came together was so bizarre. Like, I just asked my friend, I'm making a film and I need some girls that don't mind getting a bit dirty. And the person I asked, she's like a dominatrix, and she's like, oh yeah, I've got a ton of friends like that. Let me see what I can find. And she came back immediately and introduced Kuromi and another girl, and she just brought so much like joy and laughter to that horrible set and the shoot, which was a fucking
piping hot room.
Yeah, and then we just we had such natural chemistry with her that we just became good mates after. Yeah, and I think could very easily continue to make films together.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, I think she needs to reprise this role as herself again. Definitely,
she's going to be famous.
Yeah, well, she's such a talented person. Like, she's clearly, I think she's kind of a genius. Like, she, for example, she'll pretend that she can't, or she'll say like, oh, I can't speak English, but she can. Yeah, she can understand. If I'm speaking English, she knows every single thing that I'm saying. And she can imitate accents perfectly, which you do see a bit in the film.
Man, her English accent is better than mine.
Oh, it's incredible. And then she's also like an accomplished violinist. She's in band. She has her own bar. Like, yeah, she's just a truly unique and very talented person. So we're very lucky to have her in that role. And she was so like on board. Yeah. So dedicated to it. Yeah.
When I thought of the idea to put her in that role in placement of the person who cancelled on us, I was like, it's because she works, she has her own business, and and I sent her a long old message, and I was like, first we asked you to do this role, which was a lot shorter initially, but we want to take you with us to the hotel and basically have you as part of like our team and be kind of with us exploring this this abandoned and haunted structure. And she was like, fuck yeah, definitely, 100%. I'll close my shop. Yeah. We'll do it together. And I was like, it's going to be a really tough, long shoot throughout the night in maybe an abandoned place, and you might get cursed. And she's like, it's fine, yeah, let's do it. Sounds great, we'll do it. I'll close the shop, don't worry about it. I'll take the day off work.
And then even throughout that, like, she's like, are you sure you want me to be in this? We're like, yes, of course we do. And then, like, the first thing that we shot was the first time she was in it as well. She's in the opening scenes. And, like, immediately, like, we used the first take that's in that scene, and she just nailed it. And from that point, it was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. We've got something special here with her. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is funny. Like she can be. It's weird. She comes across as such a wild card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we were doing the opening scene in her bar. And she was like, yeah, right, so we're going to have this scene. We're going to be doing shots together. So she just bust out the whiskey. So let's do the whiskey. We do the whiskey. And then she got really fucking drunk. And she was like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, but she always absolutely, like, nails it in the end. Or in the beginning, depending.
Yeah. The first and last take were the best.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, no, she's really great. And not only her, but yeah, you mentioned Nakao before, who's a mate of yours, who has never acted before. And I don't want to give too much away, but he plays quite an imposing character, and he's not an imposing guy.
Yeah,
he's a very gentle. I scared him when I was when we did rehearsals.
Yeah,
and it was like half a rehearsal, half an audition for him, because we'd already cast the other part. There were a few points where I was like, no, you need to be like this, and like started like shouting at him, sort of like, like showing him what level I wanted to be at. And he's like, oh, kawaii.
But he's such a sweetheart.
I was so impressed with him though, because he really got it in the end, and he was just great every time. When on the actual shoot, he just nailed it.
Yeah,
and it was very funny because like acting opposite him, we had Hannah, who is actually an actress.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were also very lucky to have her, because we had auditions for a role. Again, I won't go into too much detail of the role, but it's a pretty demanding role as well.
Yeah.
And she's someone who lives in America and sent in an audition tape from America. And I think pretty much straight away we were like, yeah, this is who we should get for the part.
Didn't you say as well, like, so she had only been in like her like student productions or theater or something up until this point?
Yeah, I don't think she's been in anything outside of stuff like that. And she's like a theater person. She's like a musical loving Disney fan,
yeah.
And she was like, so she's American, right? So she's like, oh, so what horror films would you recommend I watch before the film? And I think maybe both of us, we suggested Noroi.
Yeah.
And she's like terrified of horror films and went off and watched like one of the scariest horror films. Oh god.
Traumatize her before the fucking shoot. Yeah.
She was recently asking for a link to watch Catsick Blues, and I'm just like, oh, Hannah, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it, mate.
Bless her. She's an absolute sweetheart. Yeah,
she was fantastic as well. And yeah, there's a few other treats in the cast as well.
There's a couple of funny fellas that appear in this. I won't give any details, but again, another acquaintance of mine who we cast in quite a big role.
The most dialogue heavy role.
Yeah.
And the most like scripted scenes, I think.
Yeah. And she is on, what is the best way to put this? She cannot legally work. She's on.
Oh, really?
She's on she's on disabilities. She claims what do you call that?
Is that just benefits?
Benefits, yeah.
Yeah.
But the best thing is, so she claims all these benefits, and with those benefits, she makes movies.
Right.
So she's an absolute like massive film nut. She loves making films. She's now in a really quite big theater play, which is touring around Japan. and she's so passionate about acting and directing and creating. And she just uses all of her time and financial benefits to support that. You know, I see her quite a lot. She's a regular customer in PAX as well. So we're always chatting, and when the idea or this character that we wrote came around, I thought it had to be her play the role, and she just did it so well.
Yeah, she's great, and it's kind of interesting with her as well. So Noe, I don't know if we mentioned her name, but yeah, I know her, but not through you. Remember that, right?
Yeah,
I've told you about that. So I met her years ago, like maybe 7 years ago. There's like a Osaka filmmakers collective that a few friends of mine invited me along to, and she would come and show her films, and they were just the most wild films that she directed. And she sadly doesn't direct anymore because I can't remember what it was, but like her film mentor was like, you should stop making films, and focus on acting or something like that. So, but I knew her from that and knew that she was quite a character. And then I remember the next time I saw her was on Sound of Summer, where she just was there.
Oh, yeah. Just turned up.
She's in Sound of Summer.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, she's in the same scene as me, right? Because we're both extras. But I was like, oh, I didn't know you asked Noe to be an extra in this, and you're like, I didn't ask her. She's in the scene. And then she followed us for the whole shoot. Yeah. And I thought that you had got her to be an actor or a crew member, but she was just there and just came along for the whole shoot. She did. And went everywhere where we were.
She did. She was there.
Oh, man.
I remember, I mean, at that time, it was during the lockdown period, so PAX was closed, but I've been given permission to film in there, and she got wind of that. She just turned up on the day, and I was like, we're kind of busy here. I can't really chat to you. She was like, don't worry, I'll just make myself unknown. And in this cafe guest house PAX, there's like a staircase that goes up. There's like a kind of like a balcony type area in the main room. And she just went up there and was just like looming over us throughout the entire shoot. And then went and brought ice cream for us for some reason. Yeah. Very sweet. But then, when it came to it, I was like, fuck, I need an extra. And I was like, no, do you mind being in the film? And she was like, She was like, can I? Oh, it was funny though. When I gave her a copy of the film when it was complete. So the first time she watched it, I didn't know this is the way she watched it at that time, but she watched it on one of those DVD players that are built into a car headrest, like the car seat headrest. She was like, I couldn't really get the sound, the sound in it, and I was like, oh really, that's weird. And then she came to a screening later on, and she was like, oh, it's so much better seeing it on the big screen. I was like, oh yeah, thanks. Well, why? Where did you see it last time? She was like, oh, in my car on the built-in headrest screen.
That's the way it was meant to be seen. Sound of Summer.
I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, but she's great, and she had a lot to remember, a lot of dialogue, much more than we had to remember because most of our stuff is improvised. But yeah, she had the written script to act out. Yeah, she really nails it. She nailed it. Yeah, fantastic.
So yeah, I think the entire cast in this, apart from us,
we do all right. We do okay. I think
we do our best. We tried up.
We tried our best.
Bear with us.
That should be the tagline. We tried our best.
Yeah, well, we did. We're not actors.
It's hard. It's hard work acting.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, you said you've done stuff acting in your own projects a fair amount. This was the first time that I had done any sort of acting since The Rope Maiden 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Yeah, because all of your other stuff you don't show up in.
No,
it, do you?
Oh, I hate it. I hate being on film, but again, it's another characterized version of myself. So You know, in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty easy role to do for me.
I think in some ways, it's easier. In some ways, it's harder because it's easy to do, or not easy. Nothing's easy, but like doing like a big stupid character, it's like less. What's the word? There's something kind of uncomfortable about being yourself on film. I think you can't hide, right?
Yeah,
that's
true.
But it was kind of fun as well because like there were parts where the bits that we're really scared. I remember the first scene that we're really scared in. I really did think like, how would I actually be in this situation? And the way I would be is that I'm a little bit angry. I'm like scared, but I'm also kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of annoyed and like, and I think like once I came to that realization, it really helped me with my performance. And I think we both kind of take on different roles it's not in the script or the outline that we had, where our characters are kind of revolved. The more scary it gets, which I really like that aspect of it.
I think it's an interesting one. I do wonder how much of like the average cinema goer or the average like, I don't know, found footage film lover would like this film, because it is so like, I know it's so different to all the other films in this genre, right? It's very much like, it's almost like Show Me Something Wrong, the movie.
Yeah,
you know?
It kind of is. Yeah. I described it the other day as like it's more like, it's like a hangout film that becomes a horror film suddenly. Yeah. But one thing I'm really proud of though is like I am very proud of like what we did for the horror scenes, because it's like 20 minutes straight of the horror stuff. So I think it
like in one like no cut.
Yeah, no cut.
Non-stop.
20 minutes of intensity.
Oh.
And I was very happy that came together. But you're right. It's gonna be, we've said that a bit, like we don't really know how people will react to this film.
At the same time though, like we do talk a lot about like Japanese culture and stuff, so people who are interested in Japan and its culture, I think, can get a kick out of it, regardless of if you like us as people or not.
I think you did a really good job of that. Like when we were like, going to film it, I remember you would often say like, oh, we should have a scene where we explain love hotels. I'm like, that is a good point, because maybe most people know that, but it would be good to get like Kuromi's perspective on love hotels. So that's probably my favorite scene in the film as well. There's a bit where I'm interviewing Kuromi about love hotels, and it's all improvised. And it's very just a real moment between the two of us. I think.
It's so genuine. It's so sweet. Probably just giggling away. Yeah. Oh, so dear. Nice. Yeah, so unlike our previous respective films, we've just, looked for distribution, or myself, I've often self-distributed my own films. This time, as it is a collaborative effort, we are doing a pre-sale on over on Indiegogo at the moment.
Yeah. So this might get distributed by someone in the future, maybe, but we don't know. Yeah, but at this point, the way that we're putting it out there is through an Indiegogo. And that's just basically to help raise money for festivals if we want to do that, for the actual production of the DVDs and special editions we're making, which we can talk about more later. And, maybe hopefully make more work as well if people like this one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, over on the Indiegogo, we got a load of perks, like standard Blu-ray DVD. There's also like a digital download. If anyone who doesn't want to worry about shipping fees, it's a very cheap and easy way to see the movie and support us. If you can't support us financially, a share goes a very long way. Anything like that would be greatly appreciated. Oh, and also the film is now 99% done, I'd say. We're doing the last little bit of editing. So once it's done, we're going to start working on getting the DVDs out. We put on the Indiegogo that it'll be shipped by January. But I think, fingers crossed, we can probably get that out sooner than that. But just to give ourselves a bit of breathing room, we said January. But yeah, so there's no long wait. But once this campaign is over, we're not going to be selling any copies. So if you are interested, please do check that out while it is still active. I think there's 2 weeks left of it at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, depending on when this goes out, probably about 2 weeks, right? And on the limited edition, I'm quite excited about getting my copy of that.
Yeah, me too.
So the limited edition, I mean, we haven't physically made it yet, but it's going to be in a box, and the box art is designed by Matthew Revere, who is Paper Crisis on Instagram, who's, one of my best mates, but a very, very fucking popular artist these days, artist and designer. He did the music for Catzic Blues, and he's designed stuff for me in the past as well. Really great guy. So the box art is by him. It's excellent. You can see it on the Indiegogo. And then the inside is the Blu-ray with a special cover that we're not going to share because it's a bit of a spoiler.
It's a big old spoiler. But it's fucking disgusting as well.
So one very gross Blu-ray in there. And then the other one is really awesome. So in the film, there are photos of the murder victim that show up early on in the film. And we wanted to include the actual photos from the film, some of which have writing on them from the murder victim and stuff like that. So it will come with that as a prop, an actual prop. And more excitingly,
someone will be excited from it.
A lock of the murder victim's hair.
Oh, it's so gross. Yeah,
it's gross. And also the Japanese flyer that we're using for the screenings in Japan, which will be signed by us and a bunch of cast members as well. And these editions will be signed and numbered. And there's only, how many is it? 28?
28, I think.
Yeah, so there's only 28. 2 of those we'll be keeping for ourselves.
Yep. I can't wait to have a copy,
I'm quite excited about that.
So it's the special edition is a rigid slipcase that houses 2 Blu-ray cases. So it's got a nice fat spine that'll look good on the shelf.
So definitely get over to that Indiegogo in the next couple of weeks before it's too late. Like Guy said, the next chance might be a long way away. And even if you can't, please give it a share it around to people that might enjoy it.
So what's the future for the pod?
I was going to say we should probably end on that. So we have been away for a while now.
Well, we couldn't do the film and the pod at the same time. It was just too demanding. So we put the pod on pause so we could focus on the film. Now that it's going to wrap, or we're going to premiere it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Osaka, next month in Tokyo. So little by little, we're going to start banking episodes again. And I guess we can start doing that soon. Maybe we can try get the latest, the first episode of season 2 out. What?
Don't give a date. Let's not give a date.
Don't give a date.
Don't give a date. But we will be back, and we do have, we've got plans. We haven't shared what the next season is, have we?
No, but there's a theme.
There will be a theme, and it's pretty exciting. I can't wait to get back onto that. Don't worry, we will be back at some point. At some undisclosed point.
There you go.
So head on over to our Indiegogo, and we're still on Instagram. Come over there, give us a follow, show me something wrong.
Not so much on Twitter anymore.
Not so much on Twitter at X. How did people find the Indiegogo, Guy? What's the best way to do that?
I would say go to either our Instagrams or Twitter. There's an all my links thing in the bios of each one, or posts that link to the Indiegogo. So that's probably the easiest way. Or if you can remember the title, give it a little search.
Yeah.
But maybe just click the link is the easiest way.
Yeah. On Show Me Something Wrong, you can find links to it there as well. So if you already follow us on Instagram, you can see it on there. But yeah, it's very nice to come back for a little Moosh Boosh.
Oh, is this Moosh Boosh worthy?
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
So we'll be back in your pod feed soon. But for now, head on over and check out our film.